Hey y'all. I hate saying hey y'all. What I'm supposed to say? Like, what's gonna be my theme? Hi. Hi. Hey. But anyway, so I'm back. Today I decided that it was long overdue that I created the video explaining to my followers and the people that just keep inquiring about the reason I decided to quit teaching. So today, that's what this video is about. And if you want to hear my story, then stay tuned. Okay, so I'm not going to go into this long drawn out story about, me being in art school and studying cinematography, deciding I did not want to create a career in cinematography, but I loved writing. What else? Because y'all know the story. If you know me, you know the story. I feel like I've told that story 13,000 times. So you've heard it somewhere. You know the story. And if you haven't, go watch this video. I'm saying that like I know how to put the video right there. We're going to see if I know how to put the video right there when I edit this. I'm not that experienced yet, okay? But anyway, so y'all know the whole story. Went off to grad school, you know that part of the story. Went off to grad school, got my master's in art education, came back home, got a job immediately. So I started teaching. And I think with a lot of people that are like, what do you want to call it? With people that are high achievers that just want to achieve at the highest level and do their best at whatever it is they're attached to, they get a thrill from, just going their hardest, as anybody should when they're working. But I started off, I remember one of my assistant principals told me right before I got my first check, he's like, okay, don't go in there spending all your check on stuff for your classroom and supplies and all of this stuff. And I was just like, oh, I'm not. And I ended up doing that all the time. So I just was really extra. But I was enjoying what I was doing because of the challenge of it all. I wanted the validation of knowing I was doing a good job. Not necessarily that I wanted to do it, but I think that I convinced myself like, okay, this is what I signed up for and I'm going to be the best at it. Not necessarily that that's what I wanted to do in my life. I always had this thing in the back of my head, this is short term. This is not going to be my forever, but while I'm doing it, I want to be the best at it. So basically, over time, over that 6-year span, there were things that made me say, you know what, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. There's something else out there for me, and I have to go about it. So in this video, I'm going to give you the 5 reasons why I knew it was time to quit teaching. Number 1, it was never what I actually wanted to do. It was just safe. So during those times in graduate school and before graduate school, when I talked to my mom about the fact that, I knew what my skill set was. I knew I enjoyed writing and I knew I enjoyed making art, but I didn't know what career I wanted to build out of it. It's kind of like I had ingredients to make something great, but I didn't know what I was supposed to make, And so when she suggested teach until you figure it out, I was just like, okay, I guess that's a safe solution. It was safe. Not easy. Don't ever get it twisted. Teaching is not easy. And preparing for teaching is not easy. That's what people get confused. They say, oh, I'll just go teach. There is no such thing as just going to teach. So put some respect on teachers' names and former teachers' names. I hate when people say, I'll just go teach, as if it's easy. People leave certain careers and they decide that they'll go teach because they think it's easy. It's not easy. You may think it's easy because we get paid less, or I got paid less because, I'm not a teacher anymore. But we do a lot of work, have a lot of education, and get paid scraps. Okay? So it's not that I would just go teach, but it was the safe thing to do in my mind. It could buy me some time, and that's what it did. But you can only put on that facade for so long, and that's what I did. I knew deep down in my heart that it felt good for now, learning and mastering a new skill in a sense, but I knew that thrill of it all was going to run out, and it did quickly. So that's the first reason why I decided that it was time for me to go ahead and make that move, because it was never what I actually wanted to do with my life. Number 2, So there came a point where I felt like I was just going through the motions. I just was waking up every day, getting dressed, going to work, clocking in. Hey kids, welcoming the kids, and teaching throughout the day, going on my lunch break, going on my planning period, going to stand outside to get some fresh air because my classroom was right by the back door, waiting on the bell to ring at the end of the day, doing bus duty, going to practice because I was the volleyball coach, taking some people home, maybe stopping to get me something to eat, and maybe going to have a drink with a friend, and going home and doing it every day. And that made me feel like I was losing my mind at a certain point. I knew by year 3 I was ready to be done. I taught for 6 years total, and I knew by year 3 I was ready to be done. I'm the type of person, like, I like spontaneity. I like newness. I like just to wake up and not know exactly what I'm going to do each day. Like, I like to have a plan, of course, but having to stick to doing the same thing, and it's kind of in a sense being told what to do, so I feel like I was becoming a robot. And then when you think about the fact that teachers are evaluated and basically told how to teach, I always found conflict in that. How are we supposed to teach children about differentiated learning and accept the fact that all kids don't learn the same, and create our lessons around the fact that all kids don't learn the same? Because little Susie is a visual learner, and little Johnny is a auditory learner, so he needs me to say the things over and over, and somebody needs me to give them a individual example. So I have to literally create lessons specified for all of these different types of learning styles. But as a teacher, I'm expected to teach one way. Every teacher in the building is supposed to teach the same way, and if you're not doing it this exact way, then we're going to score you low, and that will affect your pay. I don't like that. No, I don't like that. In a sense, basically, I guess I just don't like being told what to do. Yeah, I don't like being told what to do. So, yeah, I got tired of going through those mundane motions of doing the same thing literally every day and feeling like I was ultimately becoming a robot. Reason number 3, I felt like there was no growth in my position. Again, as I don't like the word overachiever, but as someone that liked basically getting a thrill out of the next thing that I could put my effort and energy into and achieve. It was like a reward system for me. Like, a challenge is presented, I put the effort and the work in, and I get the reward at the end. Well, I felt like as an art teacher, I was basically stuck, because how could I grow within my position? Like, it wasn't making me feel that high that I usually get. And it made me have to ask myself, are you going to operate like that for the rest of your life? Are you going to continually look for things to give you that next feeling of accomplishment, and then once it's done, you throw it away? And so that made me ask myself, like, well, am I supposed to just be doing this, and I need to stop looking for the next rush? And I just wasn't used to basically being an adult in a sense, because you got to think about it like this. When you're in school for so long, you do what you need to do, and then you're promoted. Come on, somebody. You do what you need to do, and then you're promoted. And you do that from kindergarten through 12th grade. And if you choose to get higher education, the same thing happens. You get this amount of credits, and you're promoted. You get this amount of credits, and you're promoted. And so then when you graduate, when you go to the highest level of education that you possibly can, and you stop, and now it's time for the way that you've always had your reward system to change, it's a hard adjustment. And it felt like, where's the growth? So I'm doing these things, and you're telling me, so the next school year is the same? Nothing happens. There's no big party, no big celebration for me doing a good job. You can get teacher of the year, or there are other positions, but it was just like it kind of just made me feel like, this is it. Like, this is it. And I don't want people to confuse that for thinking that there was no satisfaction in what I did. There was satisfaction from watching students that didn't know what they were doing when they first came to me learn a new skill and feel proud of the work that they produced. That felt good. It felt good to see my students' work covering the entire building, and all of my co-workers telling me how beautiful the building looked because of what my students were producing. Those little things felt good, but for me, they just weren't enough. And that's just me personally. Number 4, my mental health. Am I gonna cry? Oh my God, y'all. Okay. I struggled. I struggled with my mental health. It got really bad for me at one point because I felt like I was losing my mind, like most people do. I just wasn't okay, you know. I just wasn't okay for a while because all the things that I've told you, it's like all these things are going through my mind on a daily basis. Like, is this enough? Like, am I settling? Am I capable of more and I'm just taking the safe route? Like, all the things that I've explained. Like, am I becoming a robot? So dealing with the confusion that the career path that I had chosen had brought me, and also dealing with just regular life stuff, because I had some regular life stuff going on. I just remember, like, I believe this was fall 2019. It was just really a bad time for me. And I remember I literally would wake up. I would wake up, talk to my best friend on the way to work, and cry. I cried almost every day on my way to work, talking to her about what I was doing with my life. And I felt like I just was doing the wrong thing. I felt like I was tired, and I was just like, is this it? Like, is this it? Like, when you know that you're built for something more and you're doing something because it's safe, it's going to eat at you every day. It's going to remind you every day, hey, I'm right here. I'm waiting. I'm waiting on you to tap into me. I'm waiting on you to recognize me. I'm waiting on you to use me. And it's like, it was like haunting me. It was haunting me like daily. Like, I ain't playing pretend, and there is something that I am burying within myself that will not stay quiet. And so I would go to work, cry, wipe my face, walk in the building. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. And I just remember being so fake. I was so fake. And I would go through the day, come home, and get into bed. Every single day. And this was the fall. And so at the time of fall 2019, during that time, I told myself that I was going to have the best school year ever. I told myself this is going to be my best school year ever. I went in with a good attitude because I was like, I don't know what else there is for me out there, so I'm going to make the best of what I have. And I took that attitude. I went to school, I went to work, and this was before the kids came back. I was decorating my classroom. This was like a few days before the kids came back, and my assistant principal came in, and she was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that this year, you know, your classes are going to be really big. And my classroom seats about 25, 30 kids comfortably. And so I'm thinking she's going to say, oh, you're going to have maybe like 40. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot, you know. That's what I thought she was going to say. She said 65 on average. Huh? You said what?
He talking about? Say what? I said OG little pretty thug. Come again, say what?
65, but my classroom only seats 25 to 30 comfortably. So how am I gonna have 65 kids here, one teacher by myself? So I'm like, that just killed me. That just killed me inside, because I'm just like, what? That's too, y'all doing too much. Y'all are doing too much. But that was the reality of it. Teachers we didn't have enough staff, we didn't have enough electives. It was just some leveling needed to happen, but hey, it was what it was. And I had 65 kids on average. A small class had like 42. And my largest class was 75. That first day, you know, when the kids came and I saw that I had 75 on my roster, I was like, y'all get your backpacks. We're going to the auditorium. We went to the auditorium and I said, play on your phones. Because if they expect me to teach, they got to think mine. So, yeah. And the leveling happened. I think my classes got smaller maybe by October. And that's when my mental health got a little better. I remember it was my best friend's birthday. And I went to her birthday party. And I took some pictures and I posted them on Instagram. And that was the first time that I had like felt good. Because I hadn't felt good in a long time. I remember the summer, I always gauge whether I'm feeling good or not by taking pictures. Like, taking pictures makes me happy. I feel like I'm in a really good place when I'm taking pictures, you know, just documenting my life. And looking back at that time, I think the last picture I had posted was in July. And then the next one was in October for her birthday. So that reminds me of how I was feeling throughout those months. I just wasn't okay. And so I started coming out of that at the end of 2019. But then, you know, everybody knows what happened in spring 2020 with the pandemic. So, you know, at that point, I had decided, you know, I was tired of crying every day on the way to work and I wanted more. I couldn't go into another school year pretending as if this is what I want to do, with my life, because you're going to look up and it's going to be you celebrating year 10 and year 15, year 20, and then you're going to be retiring at 30 years. And it's like, damn, that went by fast. And I didn't want that to happen. So I said enough is enough and told my principal that I was going to be resigning from the profession, like totally, like I'm not leaving to go to another school. I'm leaving the profession. And she encouraged me, wished me great luck with every endeavor that I had. But I finally felt like I was okay. So when people talk about, you know, teaching through the pandemic, I basically missed that part of it. I got like the very beginning where after spring break, you know, we never returned back to campus. We did online learning, virtual learning. So I did that from March to May. But I was still crying when I had to log into the computer. So it wasn't even about driving. It wasn't even about driving to the campus. It wasn't that. It was like, I can't take this no more. I don't want to do this anymore. When is this over? That's what it was. When is this over? And so, yeah. It didn't matter if I was going to the school to clock in or clocking in on a computer. Like, I'm crying every day. And, like, what I'm crying about, it's just 'cause, like, I don't want to do this. Like, kicking and screaming is how it was. That's how it was. Like, I was kicking and screaming. I didn't want to do it. But May came, it was over, and my new life started. So, last reason number 5. I was tired of being a hypocrite. So, the thing that I tell everybody when I explain my story about, you know, why I decided to quit teaching, I always tell them how I would stand in front of my students and encourage them and tell them to do what it is that their hearts desire and not to play it safe and go after it, and nothing that you want is too silly or too small or too strange or too weird or whatever. I told them whatever it is that makes you the happiest, that makes you feel good, do that thing. I told my students this every year for 6 years. And every year for 6 years, I realized that I was being a hypocrite. How could I preach this to them and I wasn't doing what made me happy? And even if that meant me leaving something that I knew did make me happy, to discover what it is that does, do that too. And I am a woman of my word. I pride myself on being a woman of my word, and I love meeting people whose words are their bond. I don't like when people play like, oh, I know I said that, but that don't mean I was going to do it. That's ugly. I don't like that. So once I realized, like, yeah, you are being a hypocrite, you're not standing behind what you say, that made me feel some type of way. And that's when I knew that sealed the deal for me. I was like, you know, I need to be the example that I talk to them about. They need to look up one day and say, Miss Austin used to tell us to do what our hearts desired, and she used to tell us to go after it and be fearless, and she did it. So you have to lead by example, and that's what I did. And I'm so glad I did. Life is beautiful. Life is great. And I learned something new about myself and about God and about the process and about patience and about passion every single day. And I'm thankful. So thankful. I'm glad I got through this video without crying, because I really was going to get emotional like 3 or 4 times. I think we can conclude that I'm a crybaby. We can conclude that I'm a crybaby. And I'm totally fine with it. Like, it don't make me none. So, yes, I'm glad I finally made this video, got this out of the way for the people that have been asking, and I hope that I will be able to, you know, make more videos on a weekly basis, because this was fun. I was glad I got that out, like got it out, alright? So, see you guys next week, and be good, and stop being scary, and go after what your heart desires. Bye, y'all. Basically was saying that after he said that, after he started talking trash, I was just like, I said it's a struggle to get my feet on the ground every day, like out of their bed to come here. Like, it's hard. He was like, yeah, that's why you gotta pray. You gotta talk to the Lord. I said, I talk to the Lord every day. Every day. And then I just start getting that overwhelming feeling. And I closed my eyes like this, and the tears just started coming. I did like this. I said, I'm sorry. I tried to walk off and go into the weight room, because that was the door that we were by, but it was locked. So I'm standing there fumbling with the keys. I'm trying to walk away from them, and one of the police officers followed me. She was like, come here, give me a hug. It is okay. She said, we all feel the same. I said, it's so crazy. I'm sitting there, I'm crying hard, like that's how I'm crying, girl. Oh, Lord, help us all. That's how I'm crying, because it's just, that's how it is right now, man. That's how it is. She was like, we gotta keep God first. I love you, girl. I know we don't talk every day, but I love you. And we just gotta keep the devil out our way. He want us to fold. And I'm like, even though I was sad, I'm like, I'm loving all these conversations I'm having about the Lord today. And so I'm crying. I calm myself down, clean my face, go back out there. I was like, I'm sorry, y'all. I was like, it's okay. We just having this long conversation about God and staying put and listen to him. And when he say move, that's when it's time to move. But having enough sense to know, did God say that, or did I say that? Did I make that up for myself? Being still, getting rid of the distractions so you can hear his voice when he tell you it's time to move. Being grateful for where you are right now. We went in, honey. We went in. First thing in the morning, we went in talking about the Lord. Big group of us. It's like, yes, give me this community, Jesus. Give me these people that feel my pain, that's got their own struggle, and saying, same thing, why am I still here? It's so much more I could be doing. Everybody got their own struggle, and we all just trying to make it.